Happy Galentine's Day weekend to all of you amazing women. I want you to think, who are the amazing women in your life right now? The friendships that you want to celebrate. Who have you not touched base with in a while that you've been thinking about? Today, this weekend would be a great time. Would be a great time to do it. I want to take this time to really talk about female friendship. Took me many, many years to figure out how to do female friendships well. As a child, it was all about immediate proximity, right? Like next door neighbor, whoever like literally lived closest to you and that you went to school with and you were in a lot of classes with. If any of those things weren't in alignment, then it's very likely that you did not become friends. So it was all about like who was in your sphere. Then as we got into like adolescence, at least for me, this was my experience. It turned into the whole social pressure thing and a ranking, popular versus not popular. I remember when I went from being popular to not being popular seemingly overnight, from fourth to fifth grade. Uh, and it was very traumatic at the time, and I definitely uh, experienced bullying. I definitely experienced mean girl energy, all the typical stereotypical things. But even as I got into high school and early college, I still was not very well skilled at making friends and choosing good friends and then building and nurturing good, real, authentic, connected, mutual friendships. I, I into my young adulthood. It took me a while. I definitely had some betrayals in some of my young adult friendships, a lot of rejection that I took personally, and I really felt more comfortable with men than with women. And probably because I'm the only girl, I'm the oldest with three younger brothers. And for most of my upbringing, I had all male cousins. I think I was 16-ish when my first and only female cousin was born. So I was surrounded by males and boys and was much more comfortable with them, even though I definitely was a girly girl. I wasn't like a athletic tomboy. I was definitely a girly girl, but just felt more comfortable. And it took me a while to become comfortable with women. I'm not exactly sure where it started to change, except I started to I started to bring my feelings and beliefs about unconditional love into my friendships with women, and I wanted to see them for who they are and love them for who they are and be there for them when they need it. And most of the time I was successful. Some of the times I wasn't successful at that. And if that other person didn't have that same view on what quality close friends are, then inevitably it didn't work out. Uh, so my closest friends, it's taken a long time to nurture and become that way, and they feel like family to me. Since I don't have sisters, my closest friends feel like my sisters. And I have my oldest dearest friend, Andrea. We've been friends since we were 17 years old in college, and our friendship has gone through seasons of closeness, seasons of distance, seasons of being very involved in each other's lives, and seasons of not being very involved in each other's lives. Luckily, we've had a really long stretch of being very involved in each other's lives, and as much as you can without living near each other. And I'm really grateful for that. But what's amazing is how we have just known different versions of ourselves as we've grown and evolved and changed and made mistakes and achieved amazing things. It's been really, really beautiful to do life with her. And I know, Andrea, if you're watching, I know that we will be sisters for the rest of our lives. And I am deeply, deeply honored and grateful for that connection. And I have a handful of other friends that I've been close with for a little over a decade. And I consider us close, even though we don't talk. We don't necessarily talk every week, every month. I'm definitely more of a texter than a phone caller. So it, on paper, it doesn't seem like there's enough happening to to consider it close. But what I consider close is that they're not judging me for who I am. I'm not judging them. We take each other where we're at. We support each other. If any of us needs anything, we know we can reach out and that person will be there for us. Uh, one of my close friends, Wendy, she was there for me during the deepest, darkest, some of the deepest, darkest moments of my life several years back. And I barely had to ask for the help. Like I might have had to hint at a catastrophe or two or three that happened all around the same time. And she just instinctively in her heart knew what to do and knew what I needed at that time. And I love her for that. And I, that someone else who I see myself walking the rest of this journey with, even as we're traveling in different places and not seeing each other all the time, it does take a lot of effort. It takes intentional effort to maintain these relationships when they're not right there next to you. I mean, I know it's a different kind of effort when they are there next to you all the time, but it takes nurturing, giving, reaching out. I don't get caught up with reciprocity, like, you know, do I have to be the one that's always initiating? How come they don't initiate? All that. I really don't get caught up in that, because we have different bandwidths at different times and phases of our life. So if I have the bandwidth, I'm going to pour into you. And during the time when I don't and you do, I'm hoping you pour into me. And that's what I think it's all about, with girlfriends and with close girlfriends. I also one more thing I want to say about girlfriends, especially for those of you if you're solo, if you're single. I've talked about friendship on previous videos, and most people I could totally relate to. There were some that felt like they didn't need a lot of friends. The reason why I cultivate a lot of friends as a single woman is because I don't have that built-in live-in partner that I can do a variety of things with, right? Whether that's traveling, whether that's going to see plays, going to Broadway, whether that's having heart-to-heart conversations, whether that's going to a concert or going to a festival or going to parties together. Um, if I'm going to have a full and enriching social life, I need to have a pretty wide net of friends, because at our age, people are busy. People have priorities. And if I've got something really, really, really cool going on Saturday, I want to make sure I don't want to like ask my two friends and both of them have something going on. So then I'm sort of out of luck or go alone. I want to have enough connections of people that I like, that I trust, that I respect, that I enjoy, that fill me up, that make me feel good. I want to do that for them, and I want them to be there for me for that. as well. So I would say, if you want to have more options of more adventures and more things to do, then continue to widen your net for friendships. I'm not saying lower your standards. I'm saying keep your standards high, but keep looking and keep adding to it. Trust me, it's worth it. Now, now that I'm nomadic and I bounce around from place to place, it's become important for different reasons, because I'm looking for people to connect with at different places, and people to visit, people to have live connection with. That's why I really love meeting a lot of my online connections in person when I'm having my nomadic adventures. But either way, it's you never you're I'm never done. I'm never done. I want to keep connecting with new people. It's opened up my mind and my perspective and my heart, and I love having a diverse group of friends who've had various experiences. So in honor of all that, I hope you are having a fabulous, fabulous Galentine's Day weekend, and reach out to someone today and tell them how much you love them.